Good evening, everybody. This is A Marvelous, and I'm back here with another video. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for giving me attention. This video is brought to you by one of our sponsors, All Hustle, No Luck. Brought to you by a company that is up and coming. So if you're interested in the gear and the clothes, there's many colors, many different designs. Homegrown company out in Brooklyn. So please, if you're interested, just shoot me a message. So with that, right now, I wanted to talk about the Muhammad Ali ceremony and funeral that was yesterday and today. And I guess the title of this is why did Bill Clinton give the eulogy at Muhammad Ali's funeral? Was it because of Muhammad Ali's widow or his wife? Did she sell out Muhammad Ali's legacy? And the reason why I say that is because I notice that when it comes to a lot of individuals that's prominent, that speak up for justice and equality and, things like that nature, similar to, I guess, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, even John F. Kennedy, and countless others, I notice that there's always some kind of discrepancy or lack of picking up the torch or mysterious circumstances of deaths when it comes to the heirs, the male children of these individuals. A lot of things like that with Malcolm X and his grandson, that was very suspicious. Both, actually. The whole Malcolm male lineage actually had suspicious things happen to them in terms of death. Even with his wife, rest in peace. Martin Luther King, sons, you don't really hear too much about them. I'm not sure how much they're picking up the torch. Even John F. Kennedy, you see what happened to the Kennedy lineage. And now we have Muhammad Ali. And if you notice, of course, you hear a lot about his daughters because his daughters are quite gorgeous. They're very, very attractive. And of course, you hear about Layla Ali, a very successful boxer in her own right, champion. But you never hear about his sons, and up to recently, I didn't even know he had a son, let alone two sons. But I think what's kind of strange about that is that only one of those sons is his biological, his natural born heir. The one that I seen at the ceremony today, I'm not sure if the biological was there, but it was the adopted son. That's the one that you see, the one that was in the professional baseball, the one that you kind of see with the family and things like that. But you don't see his biological son. And as you look more, his biological son had a rocky history with his father, and they wasn't close at all. In fact, up to like 2 years ago or last year, the son, his only biological son, Muhammad Ali Jr., was on food stamps, homeless, surviving off handouts with a family, a wife and children. So how is this possible? How is it that at one time the most recognizable face on planet Earth, along with the false images of Jesus and Santa Claus, your only biological son was on food stamps? As of 2 years ago or last year or even now, that's strange to me. So it makes me think, tying it to Bill Clinton giving the eulogy, is this all because of Muhammad Ali's widow, Yolanda Williams? Is that the reason? Did she sell out Muhammad Ali's legacy and snatch the rightful portions that belong to his natural born son away in exchange for prestige and this spectacle that we see now, where we have a legislative killer, like legislative killer in passing legislation for incarceration for black males like Bill Clinton? How's that possible? If Muhammad Ali didn't have Parkinson's and he was in his, with all due respect, right mind and state of being, would that be something that he would be okay with? Is that something that he requested? Was this a direct request for Muhammad Ali to have Bill Clinton give his eulogy? I believe it was said that he wanted his ceremonies when he passed to be open to the public. So if he voiced that and that was adhered to, did he give permission for Bill Clinton to give his eulogy? That's suspicious. So was all of this celebrity show, all of this, I guess, multicultural passive type of going away to a better place in his death, all because of his wife. You know, did she sell out his legacy in exchange for prestige? We know she graduated from Vanderbilt University, a very, I guess, elegant woman. So she's no stranger to class, she's no stranger to relationships, and she's no stranger to the importance of power in politics. So did that become more important than what Muhammad Ali stood for? And it's also interesting to note that his widow married him 2 years after he had Parkinson's. And after they had married, she had full power of attorney, to my knowledge, in terms of every his estate and his finances. So she was the gatekeeper and the guardian of the fortunes and spoils that he amassed. She was the gatekeeper. And in looking at the reports from his family members, his brother, his cousins, and even his wife, I believe is Khalila Ali, they all say that there was issues with her and interacting with her, and that she did her best to keep them away. So I believe his brother is Rahman Ali, who has reportedly had issues with this woman, and his son has said not so nice words in regards to her. So was this a plan by his wife in order to um, take control of the legacy and kind of exchange the revolutionary aspects, the social justice aspects that made this man great, in exchange for multiculturalism, kind of watered down, passive um, adaptation of a man that would have not stood for this? So for Bill Clinton to be speaking at this eulogy so far, that's the only piece that I can put together as to why this would happen. And I pose the question, if his heir, his only biological son, was brought up understanding and being privy to what this man stood for, would this have happened? And would this be the case for anyone that stands up for justice? If they are privy and groomed without a assassination, without a premature death, and their sons are allowed to watch their fathers be the great men that they were and speak out against injustice, would these legacies turn out the way that they did? And I asked that question with Muhammad Ali. Would this have happened if because he has daughters, tons of daughters, and this still happened. And we all know, when it comes to the kings of England, when it comes to basic succession right, even back to the Egyptians and the pharaohs, it is the male that gets the first right to carry on the rulership in the kingdom. So I pose the question, would this have happened if Muhammad Ali's only biological son was raised by him, brought up in the ways in which he stood for truth and justice? Would this have happened? Would Muhammad Ali's legacy have been carried on in a similar fashion? The fact that he's on food stamps currently as an adult, when his father's Muhammad Ali, and there was a lot of money exchanged in it when his rights was sold, is kind of suspicious. So did Muhammad Ali's widow exchange his great legacy for this celebrity show that we've seen today? I believe so. The more I look at it, the more I think that's the case. Like I said, his if I'm not mistaken, the rights to his likeness has been sold for, I think, £30 million or $30 million or something to that nature. She has full power of attorney, and she did marry this man 2 years after he had Parkinson's, not before. Okay, not way before. Even though there's photos where he has met her when she was, I think, 6 or 7 years old. I believe it was Muhammad Ali Jr.'s son who said, quote, paraphrasing, that her mother pushed her on Muhammad Ali. So maybe this was, and she also said in her own words that she knew at 17 that she was going to marry Muhammad Ali. And I believe he was like maybe 15 or 20 years older than her. So if she's saying this at 17, this is something that I'm sure was in her mind. She said it was intuition. But yet she didn't marry him until like decades later and after he had Parkinson's. So I believe that this is one of the main reasons that Bill Clinton was allowed to give the eulogy for this man. Because this would have never happened, I believe, if Muhammad Ali was in his right state. Would Muhammad Ali, someone that stood for black people, stood for injustice, stood for the oppression of black people, allow someone like Bill Clinton, who has legislatively killed tons of black men through incarceration, bombed tons of countries, and stood in direct opposite of what Muhammad Ali stood for? Would that be something that he okayed? From what I hear, he was okay and wanted the world to have access to viewing him in his death, which is why the tickets were given out free to go see this man pass on to a greater place. But did he give permission for someone like Bill Clinton, or exactly Bill Clinton, to give the eulogy? I don't think so. And I think that's solely because of his wife, which makes you bear the question, what is her motive? Is that the reason as to why Bill Clinton gave this eulogy? Someone that stood opposite of this man's principles and actions. So I think that's something to look at. And to my knowledge, I don't even think that his son, his biological son, not his adopted son, was even present at the arrangements, which is also suspicious. So if you have Muhammad Ali's biological brother, Muhammad Ali's only biological son, estranged from access to basic things like his estate or resources or even communication to Muhammad Ali when he was alive, it makes you think that this watered down remembrance and claiming Muhammad Ali as the world's own was something that was only allowed to happen due to Muhammad Ali's widow. You know, so did she exchange this revolutionary, principled giant of a man for some watered down adopted universal son that America can now love and cherish after he suffered so long from Parkinson's disease? But before he had that, when he was standing up against the Vietnam War and standing up for black people's rights, they crucified him, called him all type of niggas and everything. It's just hypocrisy. And I think this only allows to happen when you don't have strong male heirs to carry on what you've built. So this is something that needs to be looked at. You know, we need to look at what happens now. You know, Muhammad Ali's legacy could never truly be tainted because what he stood for was stronger than any co-opting. However, what we've seen in the last week is classic case of, if you stand up against this country and you're a black male, we will crucify you. But if you have some kind of disease or you keep going, we will kill you. If you survive and you're not assassinated, you will have some kind of disease or illness where you can't speak out, or we will kill you. But if you do so happen to survive, even if you don't have the disease and you're neutralized, all of a sudden you get praised. But you only get praised after you're too weak and you don't have the capacity in order to continue the path that you was doing, and that's speaking out against injustice. And I think that this only allows to happen because male heirs are not groomed, they're not protected, and the male lineage of individuals that speak out, there's nothing to shelter them. And in the next video, I'm going to cover that. I'm going to show the importance of having the male lineage groomed in whatever message it is that you have, even if it's wealth, whatever it is that you create, the importance of having the male lineage take it on. It's not about sexism. It's about aura. It's about the nature of things. It's just historical that when, or even have the strong female figure take over the legacy, in which this can happen. You know, it seems like we have Layla Ali take a hands-off approach. So I think this is something that we should look at, because there's no way that Bill Clinton should have given this eulogy. Farrakhan, if anything, could have been a way better person to give this kind of honor to someone else as great as Muhammad Ali. So we need to really look at Muhammad Ali's widow and see what her motives and intentions are, being that she does have full control, being that out of Muhammad Ali's biological son's own mouth, he was restricted from contact with her. His own brother has said the same thing, and even his, I believe, second wife also said the same thing. And Muhammad Ali's cousins, blood cousins, have also acknowledged the difficulty in getting access to Muhammad Ali and getting things the way that he would have wanted it. Not to mention the fact that as a Muslim, a traditional Muslim, Sunni as they say, he was supposed to be buried within 24 hours. Now there are some exceptions, but the fact that this didn't happen and everything else, is kind of suspicious and it's something that needs to be looked at. So with that, thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Time and attention are two things that you can't get back. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next video. Peace.